Hello, I'm Sifu Matt Lovio, and I'm very excited to present to you today my second series on the Chinese martial arts. This art that I will be referring to today, or is referred to, excuse me, it's called Shing-ee Chuan, or more commonly known as Shing-ee for short. Before I go any further, I feel it's very important to preface the series by giving thanks to all my teachers who are but are not limited to Lao Shi James McNeil, Sifu Di Guyang, and last but not least, Sifu Gerald A. Sharp. If not for these three gentlemen, I would not be able to present to you this series and also be able to come as far as I have in this beautiful art that we call Shing-ee. Now, what exactly is Shing-ee? Shing-ee is part of the Chinese martial arts, which is known as Neijia, which is the internal or soft style of Chinese Kung Fu. The external ones are the most common ones you will see on television or in the movies, referred to, I suppose you would say, as, or call it as Waijia, the external arts. These arts being Wing Chun, Hung Gar, Cholifut, Nanchuan, Wushu, and then of course there's other arts such as the dragon style, tiger style, monkey style, snake style, white crane, Chang Chuan, long fist style. And of course, last but not least, one of the systems of Kung Fu that I teach and train is known as Shaolin, the world famous Shaolin system of Kung Fu. These are known as the external ones. They convey their power completely and differently, so to speak, where they use more power and more ki-eyes or type of approaches. Whereas in the internal soft styles of Chinese Kung Fu, it is totally, if not completely different, due to the fact that power is conveyed in a different manner. I suppose you would call in a quiet manner, but with power. It is done through the breath, blood flow, and focus and concentration. That's how they're able to be able to apply their power compared to the external systems. It's not something. It's not better. I wouldn't. Some say it is better. I don't. I disagree. Power is conveyed in different ways. However, this is the way it's referred to, if you will, where they use more of a quiet type of a ki. Where, as a matter of fact, you won't hear that one. Very few, if at all, in soft styles of Chinese kung fu. I suppose you would call it and refer to as basically, if they were to do a technique, it would be a. In other words, the breath, the chi sinks, the breath sinks as well. It's how they're able to make their power being applied and conveyed, so to speak. And that's what Shing-ee is, part of the internal Neijia soft styles of Kung Fu. It's one of the three top soft styles of Kung Fu, that being Tai Chi Chuan or Tai Chi, probably the world's most popular soft internal style of Kung Fu, which translates into English as Grand Ultimate Fist, sometimes referred to as Supreme Ultimate Boxing, etc. Shing-ee Chuan, or Shing-ee for short, can be translated into English as shape of mind, shape of intent, focused mind, or focused intent, or mind intent system. One of my teachers, my first Shing-ee teachers, Lao Shi or Grandmaster James McNeil, he always sometimes liked to affectionately refer to it as the Chinese mind style of boxing. But basically, again, the most popular pronunciation, so to speak, is known as Shing-ee for short. And last but not least is the art of Pakwa Chang. Pakwa Chang is also pronounced as Bagua Zhang, or Bagua is probably the world's most popular slang layman's term for this art. It's quite different, where it tends to be concentrated on the circle, on the concept of the circle, so to speak. Not completely. There's far more to Pakwa than just the circle, but that's what its most indicative, its signature technique is known for. Shing-ee is quite unique, unlike Chinese Tai Chi Chuan, where the movements are very slow, and it's done this way for a reason. The movements are supposed to be peaceful and salubrious. That way, this is how it's able to garner, cultivate, and gain its chi power, and also for self-defense purposes. That was first few techniques demonstrated from the Sun style of Tai Chi Chuan that I study and train and teach. Pakwa, unfortunately, it's not an easy system. Very few people have the perseverance and the patience to try to practice the art, let alone have the knack for it, because it can be considered an advanced Kung Fu system. But for those who are lucky enough to do so and practice it, pretty much it's done again basically on the circle concept. Not completely. There's far more to the Bagua or Pakwa than just the simple circle concept. But here's just a couple of techniques, if you will. One of the very first few ones, the outpressing posture, palm posture. That was the changing of the first two palms. That's just an inkling, a little smidgen, a tidbit of Pakwa or Bagua truly is. Shing-ee is quite unusual, where unlike any and all of its brother and sister Kung Fu systems that tend again to have that circle concept and the sphericital type of technique, the circular type of techniques of what Chinese Kung Fu is indicative and known for, Shing-ee tends to be more straightforward and linear. In other words, almost bearing resemblance to other martial arts such as Korean Taekwondo or Japanese karate, where the techniques tend to be more straightforward, linear, so to speak. Not completely though. There's obviously some circular and spherical type of techniques, or else it wouldn't be a true, real Chinese Kung Fu system. You will see that later on throughout the series as we progress in your training. Shing-ee was pretty much like, if you will, founded by, there's two different stories. There's many more stories, but these are the two most common and popular ones. The first one was founded by a great Chinese military strategist and general known as General Wei Fei, who lived during the time of the Song Dynasty, about 1,000 years ago. Wei Fei was actually said to come up with the art of Shing-ee from one of his teachers, a Taoist traveling monk or hermit, so to speak, by the name of Chuan. Chuan taught him meditation, breathing exercises, and so forth. And with Wei Fei, he was able to take it a step further, adding fighting techniques, being a soldier, if you will, for China, defending against any domestic and foreign enemies, especially from foreign tribal nations that would try to conquer and took over the Song Dynasty. The second most popular story happens to come from another phenomenal Kung Fu expert, and not a master, a gentleman by the name of Hsing I, who was actually said to come up with the Shing-ee around the beginning of the Qing Dynasty, the last known ruling dynasty of China, around 1640 AD, around that time, to be not specifically around that time, but around that time, to be exact. It was said that Hsing I was actually said to come up with the art of being a very phenomenal, if not highly praised expert in Chinese Kung Fu. He was like all others, chasing that proverbial dragon, trying to find like the next best teacher, the next best system, until he stumbled upon the treaties, or rather these ancient texts, legend has it, possibly written by Chuan, Wei Fei's teacher himself, where he was able to take the art, expand it further, and make Shing-ee what it is today. Shing-ee does, unlike its brother and sister arts of Bagua and Tai Chi, it does not have different systems. There's different styles or systems of Tai Chi. There's different styles and systems of Bagua. But with Shing-ee, you will find that it's only one art and that's it. There's different methods, if you will. There's the Shanzi, Hopei, and Hunan methods, not necessarily styles. Sadly, unfortunately, the Shanzi system, which hailed from the Jiangxi province in China, is said to no longer exist. There are said to be no qualified Shing-ee practitioners or teachers that are even left today. And it's possible, sadly, unfortunately, the knowledge of the Shanzi method of Shing-ee may have died off. Along the Hunan method, not only is it no longer exists, some rumors have it that the Hunan method actually never existed. It was just like maybe like a made-up name, so to speak. You decide for yourself. You will find that 99% of any and all Shing-ee practitioners, not just in its native China, but anywhere in the world, practice the Hopei method of Shing-ee, and that's what I'll be presenting to you in this series. Pretty much that's about it. I'll be trying to present to you later on further versions of Shing-ee. I'll be starting naturally with the fundamentals, elaborate upon that, moving on to the 5 elements, and hopefully also with the 12 fighting animals. Not to mention the two-person fighting form, and so on and so forth. Until then, I look forward to seeing you again in the next video for the Shing-ee series, and I wish you the best of luck in your training. And to any and all, I please leave any and all comments, both positive and negative. I welcome them all. I look forward to seeing you until our next training session. Until then, take care of yourself and all you know.